What are the next steps of that, by the way?
Yeah, we have to nominate the Commons stewards. I think that's the most important next step, and have people accept to do it. And then I'd say just September, redo the whole meeting space, reset the meetings, replan meetings. So the weekly stewards call wouldn't necessarily be a weekly stewards call anymore. Now it would be the bi-weekly stewards council where all the stewards meet. So those are, I think, changing the cadence of the meetings and the coordination circles, right? So it's like independent working groups, all the stewards and advisors, those 3 different feedback loops, and sort of the meeting cadence associated with them. And then, revisiting, rewriting the manifesto. A lot of it's probably already written here, but it can be improved based on who the common stewards end up being. Yeah. Should we get started? Just us 4? All right, cool. So, okay, so we'll set a timer for about 5 minutes just to get us started on writing down the things that went well. Of course, it can be for yourself personally, for the working group that you're stewarding with the community. I'll set a timer. Oh, that's right, I could set a timer in here. That votes. All right. Calm flow. Let's see what that's like. All right. Okay, Zen music has started. Is everyone in the board? I'm not. I see Juan and myself actually.
I'm in there.
Okay, cool.
I love this in Miro board timer that you said. Pretty nice.
You're not feeling a little sleepy? I like it actually. It's super. I feel super relaxed listening to it. I kind of want to keep going. I don't know. Does anyone want another minute or two as well, or 2 or 3 minutes as well? Maybe I'll set a timer for 3 minutes.
Nice.
Cool. Great. Wonka, do you feel up for reading the What Went Well?
Sure. The development of the police sentiment analysis. Manu stepping up incomes while acid laser is gone this week. Preparations before vacation are almost complete. Innovator coming up with some good ideas for communities. Sebnem is self-offboarding and two other stewards plan to do the same since they have not been able to really be active in the TEC for a while now. The process of trusting stewards to self-offboard when they are no longer active is working, though I think it can be improved by greater accountability measures in place. More time to work, less time coordinating. Stewards' transformation proposal has gone through so many rounds of advice process and it's live on the forum for community advice process. It's getting easier to juggle my time and commitments when the kids are not in school. This used to be a lot harder than it was these past 3 weeks. Advice process seems to be improving our use of it. +1. Gideon is just an all-star. Gideon is carrying so much load for TEC and with such grace and efficiency. TEA is about to start TE fundamentals and a lot of energy around it. Koyak and I are doing a really good job planning our first investment strategy. Someone looked for tokenomics resources in SoftGov yesterday, and Nate and I were able to point him in good directions. The police sentiment tracker is ready. It felt like a nice collaboration process. Feels good to have less recurring meetings. I have a ticket for DevCon and look forward to seeing many of us there. Amazing. Holy moly, I'm going on vacation. I feel humbled by life right now. Bittersweet feeling. The connection we built in the TC are really special to me. There is a level of acceptance for how everyone is that is so beautiful. A lot of new members that are excited to contribute. This retro music is so chill and calming, not so much time spent on screen. LTF wants to collaborate more closely with us. Sampo feels like an example of what a great working group should be, supporting the Tau voting params on Aragon. Eth Colombia is getting ready for DevCon. I like that so many stewards are going on vacation. We need to rest our eyes and minds. Refi Bootcamp presentations, Livy and Juan. No new inputs in the gravity type form. Less anxiety. TEA Discord having a lot of participation. The stewards reorganization proposed. And the gravity survey.
Cool. So maybe a quick round of sentiments, feelings, thoughts. I'll pass to Livia to get us started.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with the advice process. Seems to be working better. It feels like there's some type of shift in flow with less recurring meetings, with people going on vacation, with taking things a little bit more slowly. I feel like there could be an apprehensive feeling from it of like, oh, are we losing momentum? Are we going off track? But it feels like smaller things that need to be accomplished, or not even smaller, like the Stewards proposal was huge. And I felt a really good collaborative process with this Polis tool. We felt like people engaged and we were able to receive feedback and integrate and then have something ready. And simple, like even with Gideon going on vacation, he understands what's happening. It was great to go to their meeting last week and see like how much of a grounding and a roadmap and accountability there is. So it was inspiring. Yeah, so I think overall it's positive, even with so many shifts. I'll pass to you, Nate.
Thanks, Effie. Yeah, so I think the big one is the less recurring meetings, the more time I personally have had to work on things that I've been wanting to work on for a while and not have to, worry about knowing what's going on in every working group and understand like what direction we're heading and things to look out for. And so that's really nice to have. And I feel a lot more productive. And then I think the advice process is one of those things that, the more good examples of it we see being used, the more it kind of reinforces that type of approach towards getting things done, especially since we're so disconnected from daily meetings where, you kind of have to go through the advice process on the forum, through individual one-on-ones and so on. So I think that's really awesome. And I think the Sampo working group is doing an amazing job right now. I'm personally really happy that we've got the TEC Treasury thing underway, and we're starting to tackle some of the more difficult problems of our finances within the TEC, which is kind of a big foundational issue that we wanted to tackle. So that's really, really fun for me. But yeah, outside of that, I think it's really just about adjusting, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of it. So I'll pass it over to you, Wonka.
Thank you, Nate. Well, I've been feeling a lot better. I was feeling a lot of anxiety, and like also dealing with conflict also like charges you, and we haven't had conflict, or we haven't have received an input on our type form for over a month now, and I think maybe there is something that we are missing, and maybe there are small conflicts, but people is not feeling the type form. But it also has been a good time for me to stop and to um, refresh my energies and to recharge my energies, because yeah, dealing with conflict is always like stressful. And I also feel very, very proud that we are supporting the Tao voting params on Aragon. I think it's really something big that another organization, and an organization that has been live for some years, looks at us and ask us for support on some of their processes. I think that's really cool. And yeah, I think the TEC is getting um, a good place in the space, and I like this new pace of work. I feel I like much better in my mental health and in my physical health. And but I also recognize that there will be another time when we will be like rushed and moving fast, but it's like waves, and we have to know to rest when we can rest, and to have energies when we have to run. And yeah, I'll I'll pass it to you, Tam.
Yeah, cool. I mean, overall, like my big thing is like I'm going on vacation. And it's like my first vacation, so I'm really excited, and I feel like it's a huge deal. So I feel like I'm pretty pleased with how I prepared for it. I'm gonna have to turn the video off. Sorry. So I feel like I'm ready to leave, and that's really a nice feeling versus really worried about what will happen, or that I left things open. I feel like I've closed all the big things that I needed to close, so I'm going with a calm mind. And I feel like we're in August. This pace is really helpful for working on larger pieces of work rather than, short cycles. Like the cycles can be a lot longer, and I feel like I can at least work a lot deeper on bigger things. So I like that a lot too. Welcome, Durgadas.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you. So we're doing our sprint retrospective. Do you want to share anything about how you feel about what went well these last 2 weeks for you?
I've been on my bike a lot.
Yes.
So that's a really good thing.
Yeah, that'll
So,
do it. Okay.
yeah, I mean, we I've tried to have meetings, but it just doesn't really work. So I I can't say that we did anything on the TEC end, but personally, it's been nice.
Yeah, it's nice to hear too. It's nice to hear our personal, I can't call it achievements, but like the things that are going well in our lives too. Cool. So maybe we'll hop on to the next, which is things that we could do better, could have gone better. So I'll set this timer again. Maybe we'll use the same one for 5 minutes. And then I'll mute myself. And Durgadas, I don't know if you are interested in joining the Miro board, but I'll drop the link in
Oh,
the chat.
thanks. No, that's okay. I'm good.
No problem.
I'll probably just drop out. I'll see you, Wanka, after the meeting. Okay, thanks.
I'm just going to finish writing something. If you guys can give me just for 2 more minutes. Okay, does anybody want or need more time? Olivia, Nate, Wonka. Cool. Okay, so Olivia, do you feel like reading out the things we can do better?
Yes. I wonder about the reputation of the TC. Some negative sentiments were shared from a key stakeholder, someone that was formerly a huge champion of ours. They did not refuse to go into detail, but it will be important to understand stakeholder perception better than we do now. Improving on having difficult conversations with individuals with enthusiasm. Creating better cultural practices that allow for feedback and criticisms without the feeling of singling someone out. Accountability is a big one for me. Communications and coordination with TE Academy. Improving our external messaging. Consolidating our informational and community interfaces. Collaboration with CAD feels like a missed opportunity. We can likely still do this in the fall, but require the champion to see it through. I didn't prepare enough to go to Kenya, and now I'm paying the price. Knowing where to go to when working groups need technical development. Creating better incentives for keeping people within the TC. The problems are feeling somehow overwhelming to tackle. I know we can make it, but there is a drop of energy for me. Our partnerships are cracked. Knowing when to say no personally. Differences between TEA and TEC are unclear for people. More comes on our DAO-to-DAO collaborations.
Cool. And maybe Nate, do you want to kick us off on some thoughts and reactions you have personally?
Yeah. A lot of the issues we have, I think, we could be doing a lot better job in terms of developing partnerships. I think our partnerships are cracked is a really fair statement to the issues that we're kind of facing and things that we could do better. And we really haven't, this is a need that we've had for a while that we really haven't built the infrastructure for in terms of having somebody who is committed to developing partnerships with multiple groups, even in, the Gnosis ecosystem is really difficult. And the other one is, knowing where to go when working groups need technical development. I think our technical teams, even those who are in charge of doing the website, I still can't tell you to this day who runs our website. And it's one of those things where it's like we typically had ViViV and other people who could handle Discord things and stuff like that. And those people are very hard to find right now. And so I just that is a huge issue for me. And outside of that, I think we could be more integrated in other communities, and that is, it's a challenge, but I think it's very, very, very important. So, those are my big thoughts on kind of like the things that we could do better. Yeah, and I would like to have a website that I can just go to that has our gardens embedded, our snapshot embedded, our uh, links to the Git book and all that good stuff. And so I think better interfaces is really important too. So, but yeah, so I'll pass it over to you, Tam.
Cool. I mean, I'm going to say that I feel like there's a lot of things we can do better. And, we're in this phase where I think we're going through a pretty big transition. Certainly the stewards are. And I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I can see that, the improvements are on the horizon. But then there's still some questions. I mean, I liked what you said around, technical development. I think to be honest, it's something we could look at something like Grade Guild, and it's just this technical development that we would spec out and pay for. It's one solution. But then I would say, the thing that sort of came to my mind was like we had this conversations with CAD, and it was like, okay, we're gonna work on a collaboration together, but I feel like that it's not the kind of thing that I can quarterback, or I was able to quarterback at the time. There's too much on my plate already, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's these opportunities, but it's like matching these opportunities with the person in the TEC who can then sort of push it through to, to plan it, coordinate it, execute it. And I think that's going to be also maybe prioritize. Maybe it's a matter of us, like, in fact, for the foreseeable few weeks, months, I think it's just a matter of us actually whittling down what we do and prioritizing a few key things, and deprioritizing other things that have been priorities in the past. And I think accountability is a big one for me, really resonated with me, even though I didn't write that. I think that the model that we had used with the stewards and sort of didn't have a lot of accountability built in. It was really based on, autonomous, trustworthy stewards working together. And there's a lot of trust that people would offboard themselves if they weren't as active. And we're starting to see that. I mean, that has happened, and we're starting to see more of that. But I think we can actually put into place, now that we're very operational, more accountability measures for stewards especially, but also for contributors, and make that part of our culture as well. I guess that's it. I'll pass to Ivanka.
Thank you, Tam. Yeah, I also resonate with more comms on our DAO to DAO collaborations. I feel that DAOs can be islands, but at the same time, we don't have to be alone, and that the DAO to DAO relationship is like a really cool thing that we can have to like find and develop more things with nested enterprises, and to collaborate and to contribute with others. I think that nested enterprises is the best way that I can say it, just thinking on Ostrom 8 principle. But it's like we are having so many cool things. There are so many cool communities who are giving their first steps, and some people is looking at us, and what we're doing is really cool. So yeah, our DAO to DAO collaborations are something really, really that we sometimes can miss, but it's something that plays an important role, and we are very well connected to other communities. So it's something that maybe we don't communicate too much, but it's something that it's there, that we have good relationship with other communities. And yeah, I made a meme about 40 days without conflict. It's like I just was thinking in the intro of The Simpsons, and it's also something that we have been working on, to not have conflict right now. It's a good thing, because it means that we have had conflict, and we have somehow managed them without they like being and stopping us at this point. And yeah, I'll pass it to Nate. I think you went. Libby?
I think I'm the only one left, right? Yeah, I think there's something about our partnerships that could be improved a lot, on just having clear expectations. Maybe we need some type of a formal document for a template for partnerships, something that is directly guided to token engineering projects. And I think that would help us understand ourselves a little bit better too. What is that we are providing? What is the commitment with each community? And yeah, become more of a commons in that sense. And specifically connected to token engineering projects. And yeah, accountability. I feel like I've been failing on being accountable to many things, and I wanted to say sorry too. If there's something I promised I was going to do and I didn't, and I think that's many things. So also on what Tim said, trying to think of how, like, for example, the sprint planning feels like it wasn't something that was working for my accountability. How could we think of, like, do people feel accountable in different ways? Are there different things that work for different people? And maybe, I don't know, I'm in that self investigation for me. When I figure something out, maybe I can share and see if there's other thoughts about that too.
Okay, so shall we hop to actions to improve? And okay, let's set a timer again. 5 minutes starts now. Okay, Nate, do you want to take a turn reading in actions to improve?
Sure. So, identify the narratives around external communications. State priorities, keep focused on them. Have someone to champion partnerships with TE projects. Create a partnership template for TE projects. Develop more projects that bring people to the TEC. I really want to start a How to DAO course. Reimagine our sprint planning processes. Create more ritualistic voting behaviors within the TEC. Ask what are the needs of different TE projects. Use our social media as a stage for them. Identify the needs of the TEC to become effective within our working groups. Take this time to restructure our working groups, perhaps introduce short-term groups similar to a task force. Squash negative sentiments. We are going to do great things. Commit with less. Believe that we have everything we need. Enjoy what we are doing. Share accountability tips. Look at it as a shared challenge we need for a solution for. Maybe it will become more fun. Focus more on supporting TE projects than creating things branded TEC.
Cool, and maybe Wonka, you want to share some thoughts or reflections for actions to improve?
I was a little bit distracted, but I wrote the one that said, believe that we have everything we need and enjoy what we're doing. Because sometimes we get like into the daily routine, and sometimes we can lower sometimes our motivation, but really what we are doing is amazing, and we are really, and we shouldn't forget that what we're doing is amazing, and that we have everything we need. We have an amazing community. We have the right tools. We have the right people. Sometimes we can want things to rush, but everything will come and unfold at its pace. Yeah, it's just what I wanted to share. And I like the one that says create a partnership template for T projects. That sounds really cool. I'll pass it to Nate.
Yeah, so I think, a lot of these things can be improved through reimagining our sprint planning process. I know, Tam, you've mentioned before that, we've kind of grown out of the sprint planning, which, has issues on accountability, making sure the priorities are there. And I think that, if we can figure out a good way to organize how we prioritize initiatives within the TEC, I think we can become much more effective in the work that we do, and the manner in which we do it. And I think that that's a huge thing that we can really focus on. And also, I would like to see more voting turnout. I think that I don't want people to get lazy in terms of participating in the decision-making process, and creating more ritualistic voting behaviors, I think, is a really important need that we have within TEC that could help improve with the commitment issues. So, yeah, those are just my thoughts on that. I'll pass it to Olivia.
Thanks. Yeah, I think the template would help a lot, and maybe having someone that can only be dedicated to that, like having a person onboarding a steward that could be just this person to take care of partnerships, and for that to be compensated by the common pool. I would support that. I think is the one thing that can actually save us if we are integrated with the TE community and we understand their needs. So maybe having like a constant, this person could set meeting all of the projects, map out who are the TE projects in the ecosystem, ask them what are their needs, have a list of those needs, understand how we could create action items for all of them. And maybe these action items could turn into proposals. Maybe this is going to start to be something interesting for the ecosystem, and it could be a revenue stream somehow, like tying with tempo and utility of the token or something. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Pass to you, Tim.
I mean, I think the difference, and I agree with the sprint planning, actually. We started too large, and this is a great example. With just the 4 of us here, we really have time to share our thoughts and go deep, and it doesn't feel rushed like it does when there's like 10 or 12 of us, doing this. And it's the same with sprint planning. I think we need to, it's designed for like 6 to 7 people. It's a good sized team. More than that, it just becomes less effective. So I think we should move to these sort of smaller groups using their sprint planning. So like each working group doing their planning, and then and it be more small groups doing planning together versus a sort of very large group trying to plan everything at the same time. I think it's past its point of scalability. I really like that idea a lot. And so, yeah, I guess I agree with Olivia. I agree with Nate with voting, and with championing somebody who handles, it's not just projects, but partnerships and relations in the ecosystem. It's sort of like a relationship management role that I sort of see that as. And I think that'd be great too. Wonka. Oh, did you go? No, you didn't go yet for thoughts. Oh, you went.
Sorry, and I just received some people, so I am a little bit distracted.
Okay. Okay. Well, last thing is if we want to just vote 2 stars, and maybe we could also say hi to your guests. Hi, guests of Wonka.
The technicians for the air conditioner.
Okay. Maybe not exactly guests. Hi, technicians for the air conditioner. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And we'll just wait till everyone is done and then wrap up. Wonka, do you want to say what you're looking forward to most this weekend?
I don't know. I haven't thought of it. Just staying in my house, spending time with Danny, maybe with my brother, with my niece, Josephine, and yeah, just that. Maybe I think there's a new Dragon Ball movie. I just saw it was on theaters, and it calls my attention. How about you, Livy?
Yeah. I was going to Kenya yesterday, and then I didn't because I was stupid, and now I need to understand what to do. I might go to an ayahuasca journey tomorrow. I'm like thinking if that's what I need. Everything feels so confusing. I'm like, maybe I need like divine power right now. Yeah. So it's a little on the open. And you, Nate, what are you doing?
Well, Kepler turned 4 months yesterday, and so tomorrow he has a big doctor's appointment that I'm going to take him to, and he's going to have to get a second round of shots, and not looking forward to that. But outside of that, I think I'm just going to be hanging with the baby this weekend. Natalie's going to be taking some time off for herself. She's going to go with her friends wine drinking, and really happy about that. So get her some me time, and so it's just gonna be me and the baby, and we're gonna hang out this weekend. I'm really excited about that. So yeah, I'll pass it to you, Tam.
Oh, that's sweet. I love that. Actually, that's really sweet. And Olivia, you win for the most exciting weekend. Mine is just preparing to go away for 3 weeks and to camp in a desert. So like, what am I doing? You know, like reminding myself about what I'm supposed to bring, all the things that I'm missing. Outfits is a fun thing to do, although, you know, so it's all this stuff, right? Like all the stuff around leaving on Tuesday morning has to be finished. So. Okay, so we are almost at the top of the hour. Create a partnership template for TE projects and reimagine our sprint planning. Seem to have the most stars too, but it's pretty spread out. Thanks everyone for joining today. It was really nice. I felt like this was such a this is like the sweetest retrospective we've had in a really long time. It's so sweet and intimate. I really enjoyed it, spending this hour with you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Tina.
you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
I
everyone.
love facilitating it and the timer and the music.
I'm gonna keep
I hope
that
you all
shit
have a
up.
great weekend
You too. Bye, guys.
and have fun on your ayahuasca trip.
That's not the word.
Journey.
Bye, guys.